third edition of the program for the week. It is the State of the Nation, where we take a look at the stories that made the headline for the day. My name is Michael Oni, and of course today is the 22nd day in the month of August 2019. It is Thursday, the fourth workday of the week, and of course it's a full house this evening. I do have Samson Eze right here. Good evening to you, Samson.
Good evening to you, Michael.
Gineka Oloha as usual. Good evening to you, Gineka.
Good evening, Michael.
And of course, Wendy Jackson is making a debut on the program this evening. Family man, you're welcome. Good evening to you.
Thank you. Good evening. This is a half debut. It's not a full debut.
Half debut. Okay.
Well, I'm not staying back for the full program.
Definitely, you're here for a reason. I think we should begin with that. There is a new program that we will be starting on your darling radio station, Flo 94.9 FM. That's tomorrow, by the grace of God, where you get to know your rights. I think you should shoot.
I think it's long overdue. The program is actually called Your Rights, and it's debuting tomorrow from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a program that will offer people the opportunity to know their rights, their fundamental rights. You know, this goes beyond just the law now. We're talking about fundamental human rights. There have been abuses here and there over time, and no one even gets to talk about it.
Okay, so what are we really expecting on this program? Am I to call in and report an incident to you, probably if I have something bothering me as it concerns my rights?
It's all part of it, because first you need to know what your fundamental rights are. The program will enable you to know what your fundamental rights are. We'll also highlight abuses here and there and measures being taken to check these abuses. So you are also free, to report incidences of human rights abuse on the program, and you bet that it will be taken charge, that something will be done about it.
Alliance Flo FM is partnering with an organization to bring up this a particular program.
Yes, it's the National Human Rights Commission.
The Abia State chapter.
Yes, the state chapter here. They are going to be a part. In fact, they are the nucleus of the program, because we're going to be having them most of the time as guests and co-presenters on the program.
The time again?
It's 1 to 2. It's a program to watch out for. Please don't miss it.
Every Friday.
Anything. Every Friday from 1 to 2. Every Friday. Don't miss it for anything.
Thank you very much, Wendy Jackson. And I'm also going to keep a date with you on the program.
Please do that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Fine things to come.
All right, it is still the State of the Nation right here on Flo 94.9 FM. As usual, we begin from Abia State, and we've started a countdown. Countdown to what? Abia State will be 28 on the 27th of August 2019. That's next week, Tuesday. Abia was created on the 27th of August 1991. Guys, what do you expect that day? I think in the course of listening to this program, we are repositioning our programs to capture the big event that's coming up on the 27th of August, next week, Tuesday. What's your expectation, guys? What are your expectations?
Where were you in 1991, Michael?
You're asking me that question.
I'm sure you were not born.
Gineka, you've started the game. Okay, let's go. Samson, what are your expectations?
Well, as a radio station, we are planning something big, a very big documentary that would have covered everywhere, like
all the sectors.
Yes, and then featuring the founding fathers who've gone as far as Aba, different places to get those people who dreamt about Abia. And Abia became a reality. Some of them who are still alive, we're celebrating them. And then a bigger platform where people will get to talk about the Abia dream, the Abia project, and then the journey so far.
Then don't forget the Abia Charter of Equity, which is the major.
Yeah. I think they were at Government House this afternoon. They talked about the Abia Charter of Equity. And I think it's high time the Abia State House of Assembly puts that into their own law.
I think we should begin with that particular story this evening on the program. Abia State Advisory Council, led by its chairman, Ezogo, Dr. Anaka Ezekwe, and his deputy, Sir Barrister Chikeze Nwachukwu, renewed the call for the Abia State government, particularly the State House of Assembly to put the Abia Charter of Equity into law. The last time we heard of that particular line was just during the election. Now it is coming back. The council made that call, addressing the press ahead of the 28th anniversary of the creation of Abia State coming up next week, Tuesday. This, according to the council, would ensure that no zone in the state is cheated in the political leadership of Abia State. They informed that the council has taken the proposal to the State House of Assembly for several times without success. Now, let's listen to what transpired at the government house.
The good Lord intervened and inspired the founding fathers to devise a document in good conscience named Abia Charter of Equity, where we defined methods of managing this and sharing political and other common amenities in a fair manner, and to quell the fear of domination by other groups.
And now, accessing the level of progress made so far by the state, the council said the state has not fared too bad, as it has achieved the rotation of governorship position among the 3 senatorial zones, including Abia North, Abia Central, and Abia South, and other things. They stressed the need for continuous improvement in infrastructure in the state, as it would lead to rapid development of Abia. The council also called on the political class to always continue the project embarked upon by her predecessors, where such projects are yet to be completed, maintaining that government is continuum. Guys, I think we should look at the importance of Abia Charter of Equity coming to play, especially during political season, like the one we had during the last governorship election. The role of Abia Charter of Equity in things here in Abia State.
Okay, if I must talk about that Abia Charter of Equity, I think there's no need, like Samson said, he said we should take it to the Abia State House of Assembly to, put it as a law. Yeah. I don't think it's not necessary. Let us keep practicing it like the way we are doing. I wouldn't want a situation, and I'm sure most Abians will not be comfortable sacrificing good performance or somebody that is credible, to handle a particular position on the altar of Charter of Equity. So I think, yes, we already know, even before now, that it has to be whatever political position we're sharing has to go around between the 3 political, senatorial zones that we have in Abia State. That's what we've been doing, even when the law is not there. So I think, I strongly believe that whoever is credible to man any position should go ahead and be appointed or elected, as the case may be, instead of saying that because he is from here, he's not from here, when you know very well that a person may not be able to perform if eventually he's given that position. So I think the issue of Charter of Equity, let us continue practicing it. We shouldn't take it to the State Assembly for to be enacted as a law.
Your opinion?
On the contrary, the Abia Charter of Equity, the founding fathers who conceived the idea of fighting for Abia State to have Abia as a state had it, and I'm sure they must have imagined a situation whereby the component unit that made up Abia State would have that issue of who takes this and that, and they decided to put up that Charter of Equity to make sure that everything is settled in a peaceful manner. Now you look at it this way: yes, if you take it to the House of Assembly, they could enact it and it becomes a law, but the law by the Abia State House of Assembly cannot override the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is a ground norm. And what does the Constitution say? The Constitution, as far as you're qualified to run for an office, you can run for it. But it makes for equity, it makes for even development. You can always find somebody who is qualified. On the other side, imagine if Nigeria had something close to Charter of Equity. Probably an Igbo man would have long been a president. But we don't have it, and then so if you have bigger population, you cannot just grab everything. In the sense of morality, it's a good thing, but then would they keep to it? Politicians, they will always find a shortcut, and a way of making the system quickly, work for them.
Before we move straight to some other stories, we begin from Abia State. That's our usual practice on this program. Abia State government says that public servants in the state service must henceforth mandatorily take their yearly leave within the leave year or face sanctions that include forfeiting their leave entitlements. No, it is now compulsory for you to go on leave. That's according to a circular released yesterday by the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Establishments and Pensions, Mr. Okechukwu Ehedioha. He stated that the policy affects all public servants, no matter their cadre, level, or office. That's the situation. Go on leave, or you forfeit your leave allowance. That's
Why wouldn't you want to go on leave?
Yeah, but I mean, if you are getting one or two things,
one or two things like what?
Like what?
Ginika, benefits.
I understand you've been a civil, servant.
No, you mean government worker? I've not been a government worker before.
Okay. So benefits like
benefits.
What are the benefits?
So that would make you not.
Now listen,
take a break.
What I'm saying is, if you are, getting one or two things from the system, and you know that if you step out for 1 hour, you're going to lose out. Of course, that's why most of them they don't want to go on leave. Yes, but then again, Samson, I think the state government should set up a committee that will look at the whole civil service system generally, to see a way to check or address the anomalies we find in that system.
There's already a committee.
No, that one
headed by Professor Ago Mkpa. Yeah, I think there's a committee. There's a committee to that effect. But then why would anybody not want to go on leave? But then if you choose not to go on leave, is it not the government? Is it not the government that would?
Do you go on leave?
Why are you being
I have a different situation here. I have a different situation. But I've been
go on leave?
Of course. You know when I went on leave.
Immediately after the elections, I went on leave. I was on leave myself.
So your own doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Except that you are not qualified for leave yet.
All right. The ministers they've resumed, and of course we are following the progress of the man from Abia State, Dr. Uche Chukwu Samson Oga. He resumed duty today at the Mines and Steel Ministry. Of course, he resumed at a few minutes after 7 a.m. And he met with those at the ministry. Let's listen to him speak.
For us here, we want to partner with you people to see how we can move this country forward. For us here, we are determined to change the narrative of this ministry. And we cannot do alone, both of us. But with you, we can take this ministry to become an enviable ministry that people will want to come into. So I want to encourage you. We want to have all the maximum support that you can give to us. Because at the end of the day, every one of us here will be happy that we are part of this ministry. Because we are here to support, to make sure that we give the best for this nation and support the president in ensuring that we have a better nation, which will be interest to all of us at the end of the day. So thank you so much for this warm reception. We are very grateful, and we will work as a team with the PAMSEC to make sure that this ministry becomes an enviable ministry. Thank you and God bless you.
Work has started. That's the voice of Dr. Uche Chukwu Samson Oga, the Minister of for State Mines and Steel Development, the man from Abia State. Of course, other ministers also resumed work today, being the first day at work immediately after they were inaugurated by the president yesterday, guys.
Well, none of them that you can say it's a visitor to Nigeria. They already know the problem of the country, the question of whether you're qualified or not, whether you're a professional, you're handling ministry. I think it's a thing of the past now. They've been giving their mandates, the charge, go ahead, do whatever thing. And for them that had the benefit of being governors at different points in times in their various states, as a governor, you are the chief executive. Yes, you may not be a professional in one particular area, but then you had been placed in a situation where you to oversee everything. So they should hit the ground running.
All right, quickly, let's go. Let's move on now. We have so much to cover tonight on the program. Let's move straight to Imo State, where the former governor of the state, Ikedi Ohakim, is saying that he's at ease with the decision of the governor, the present administration, to probe the award of contracts and land deals during his administration, as well as those of Achike Udenwa and that of Rocha Sokorocha. He said that, well, it's a welcome development. I have no skeleton in my cupboard, so go ahead and probe. The former governor said the probe would also help to set the record straight and help the new administration start on a good footing. So, who is afraid of probing? That's the question.
I don't know who is afraid of probing, and we've said it here before that all this probe, I don't know where it is going to take the people of Imo State. Okay, if you say you want to probe, that's all right. Probably you want to get the records of how things were done in the past.
But then
that's a good one.
The present administration,
in doing that, you must hand over that responsibility to the appropriate quarters, which is the anti-graft agencies.
Ginika, the present administration mentioned that he will probe, that the administration will probe former governors, including Rocha Sokorocha. And of course, the man that is saying that he has no skeleton in his cupboard, he's at ease. Then the question is, why are some former
I'm sure that termites may have eaten up some of the files.
As usual.
Termites may have eaten up some of the files for the governor, Emeka Ihedioha, right honorable governor.
According to Chief
it's a big task that he has invited upon himself. I want to believe that he has the capacity and the Abakara to go all the way.
No, his capacity as the governor, he has every right.
Well, still in still in Imo State. The governor, remember, suspended payment of salary to all workers employed in the state civil service from January 2019. He also, he has gone ahead to suspend them, and he said the employment of the affected workers did not follow due process as stipulated by the law. Now, those civil servants, some of them gathered and protested. They stormed the venue of an event where the governor was present, and of course some other top functionaries in the state. Listen to them.
The newly employed into the civil service, mostly civil service and local government to 2019, dating from January 1st to 2019, has been suspended immediately.
It's so bad because we've been going to work from May to date. From January 1st till now, we've not been paid and we're going to work. We're begging for the SLS to have mercy upon us, to pity us.
Well, the lady there, very emotional there. She was crying while talking to the journalist at that particular event. Guys, what do you think?
The situation surrounding this matter is quite delicate. Look at it this way. The governor carried out this employment, this appointment, or however you want to put it. The former governor.
The former governor.
This thing was carried out towards the closing time as he was about leaving the office. And people are questioning the rationale behind that, because the man who is in charge now has to get things right so that he wouldn't have anybody to blame at the end of the day.
I think the best thing is just to source for money.
Start paying them.
Start paying them.
Is that the right thing?
What do you want? Okay.
What about reviewing the process of the appointment?
So, what will happen to them if eventually you review and you find some anomalies there? You sack them.
If you got into the system through the back door,
you go through the back door. Are they not Imo people?
The question is, were they needed in those positions? Were they needed? That's
and why did the governor wait? And why did the governor wait for 7.5 years? The former governor wait for 7.5 years before recruiting people into state civil service.
The fact still remains
fishy.
Yes, it may be fishy, but the fact still remains that the people need employment and they have to be employed somehow, and they find themselves into the system. So, and you just have to accommodate them. They are not from Niger, they are not from Chad, they are from Imo State.
You could organize another empowerment program for them, because somehow, what about the people who were not opportune to get employment, and then you are not qualified, or okay, but then you qualified, but then there is no need for you to employ you.
Do you know these people
you suck the revenue of the government, yet you sit under the trees and you don't do anything?
Honestly, it's better to look for money and pay these people. You know why? I've said it, that government or the governors should cut down on their wastages. The people around them, the aides and all that, reduce them. Not when the governor is traveling to Abuja to go and pick an award. Everybody will jump into. Okay. They will charter a flight and all that.
Let's quickly, down. You have money to pay these people. Break. We're going for a break now. It is the State of the Nation right here on Flo 94.9 FM. There was an event in Enugu today, unfortunate incident that led to a protest. In fact, the deputy governor in Enugu State had to, wade into the situation. We will give you the details of that right after this break. It is the State of the Nation right here on Flo 94.9 FM. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It is still the State of the Nation right here on Flo 94.9 FM. The third edition for the week, Thursday, the 22nd of August 2019. Now, let's quickly go straight to that unfortunate incident that took place in Enugu barely 3 weeks after a Catholic priest of Enugu Diocese, Reverend Father Paul Ofu, was killed by herdsmen in Enugu State. A pregnant woman has also been killed by suspected herdsmen in Enugu East Council area of the state. The woman, whose name was not as at the time of filing this report, we didn't get the name of the woman, but then she was slain while returning from the farm, and her stomach opened to remove her baby. Very, very. If you've been on the social media, it's a very, very unfortunate incident, and gory details of that particular incident. Meanwhile, the community members were said to have blocked the Enugu-Abakaliki Expressway today, protesting the murder of that woman. Very unfortunate incident. Listen to what happened.
You can see angry youths are not happy against the killing. They have been killing us all this while, and today we must register our dissatisfaction with the government of Enugu. Just this morning, another woman was killed in Inchatancha area of Ekobinagu, Enugu. You can see the hungry youth have stormed the street to do the needful, to protest against the killing by the S-men. Today being the 22nd day of August 2019, our angry youth have stormed the street to protest against the killing. You see right here, we don't want Fulani S-men again in our land. This is what the youth are saying. We don't want Fulani S-men in our land. They've blocked major roads. You can see everywhere. Our youth have started doing the needful. We say no to Fulani S-men killing in our land. The angry youth across Eke Obinago have stormed the street to protest and do the needful against the killing of Fulani S-men.
Meanwhile, it took the deputy governor to calm the youth, the angry youth protested along Enugu Abakaliki Expressway. The deputy governor, Cecilia Ezelo, was there. The lady was there, and she went there to calm the situation down.
We are going to go into this matter and find out whatever is the cause and the culprits. So I'm begging all of you to please calm down. His Excellency will get at the root of the matter. He has been doing it before. All those who are involved in other previous acts are now at the police station answering questions. And this is not going to be a different one. So I'm begging you people to be calm while we go into the root of the matter and then get those that did this thing.
Yet another death by suspected herdsmen in Enugu State. The State Police Command has confirmed that unfortunate incident.
Okay, I think the Southeast governors at some point held a meeting and they agreed that they are going to set up forest guards will guard all their farms and all that. What is happening, we've not heard much about it. Enugu in particular has had their fair share of that killing from suspected herdsmen. What is happening? I think it's high time the Southeast governors woke up from their slumber and face this particular insecurity we have in this part of the country squarely. Face it squarely, because yes, it may not have gotten to other parts of the, other parts of the states from the southeast, but gradually these people are everywhere. They are just everywhere. There's a need for them to wake up and address the security situation in this region.
Well, I want to look at it from this angle.
Okay.
In Enugu State, like you said, they've had their fair share of this ugly incident. But I'm just bothered that every unknown criminality, crime, armed robbery that is committed in any part of the country now, everybody says herdsmen. Don't you guys think that possibly some other persons can hide under that cover to commit such crime?
That's what intelligence can do, can reveal to us.
Exactly. That is why the security operatives have to go beyond the surface level. Enugu State, I remember back in 2016, I was in Enugu as a journalist. I followed the Ike Kweremado's the people to Uzuwani when the incident, the first one that happened in Nimbo, that is in Uzuwani local government. It was a gory sight. I mean, you see the entire community, you have their means of livelihood, their cattle, their livestock, farms and all that, but raised, even a church and all that. So it continued. The other day it was in Achi, in Ojeriva, where the Reverend Father was killed. This one happened in Chatancha, in Nike, almost very close to the city. So what is actually happening? The other day again, the headsmen, the Hausa community in that state, they had a sensitization campaign around all the settlements where you have the Fulani settlements everywhere in Enugu State. What is happening? They need to step up. Today it is Enugu State. Tomorrow, God forbid, it might be Abia State. The next day it could be Ebonyi State or any other state in the southeast. The southeast governors, they really need to get done with the talking and all the discussions and start doing something.
Okay, speaking of insecurity, guys, villagers from two local governments in Borno State, Gubir and Magumeri, are now hiding in bushes following a night of terror launched by Boko Haram insurgents. Now, the insurgents gained free entry into the two towns unchallenged as the army had withdrawn from its location for unexplained reasons. Civilian JTF members were the only security personnel present in the towns when the attack occurred and were retreated into bushes along with the villagers upon seeing the large number of assailants and their sophisticated weapons. Now, quickly, guys, let's look at the education sector before we open the phone lines. Well, it looks like the first crisis that the Minister of Education, that was just inaugurated yesterday, will be facing is the mother of all strikes, as being described by those that will be going on strike very soon. University workers in the country under the umbrella of the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, and the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, SANU, warned the federal government to brace up for an indefinite nationwide strike. That's according to Mr. Solomon Alfa, the National Vice President of SANU in the North. He disclosed this at the press conference and said that the workers, they are presently on a 5-day warning strike, guys, and they said the government should prepare what they termed as mother of all strikes. Let's listen to him speak.
It will be recalled that the Joint Action Committee of NASU and SANU embarked on a 5-day warning strike, which commenced on 19th of August 2019 over the refusal of the federal government to implement the 2009 agreement is signed with the unions. We can authoritatively say that the strike has made a tremendous impact in informing the populace. However, it is imperative to shed more light on the issues that prompted the warning strike so that the public and the good people of Nigeria can be well informed and be able to prevail on the government to do the needful in order to avoid the mother of all strikes that will follow this.
It appears like a groundswell and something big enough that can shut the education sector completely, because there's been a warning strike.
Yeah.
And this matter has been there for a very long time. The government, they would agree, get lecturers back to the classroom, and yet they would not implement any of the agreement. And then the non-academic staff union, they equally have their own grievances. But then it's a good thing that they have the familiar foes. It's familiar foes and familiar turf for the likes of Adamu, the Minister for Education, and Chris Ngige, whom the workers never wanted back.
But
you see the gain of having them back. It wasn't about their performance in the eyes of the public. It's about their ability to interpret the policies of the government. I don't know whether you
interpret it in what way
probably
and not meet their demands.
Probably the government may have told the minister, engage these people tactically, diplomatically, and ensure that you buy more time, and let's get done with election.
All right, let's go.
Having done that, they deserve the return.
I didn't see any professor in that cabinet.
Must you have a professor?
But there were several barristers. There were several barristers.
What do you mean a malam? What do you mean a malam? That's the
malam is a malam. Don't you know what a malam?
It's like a mister. It's not just a malam. He's a chartered accountant.
A chartered accountant, yeah.
So he's qualified.
All right, let's go straight.
He's not a lecturer.
Must he be a lecturer before becoming a minister of education?
So that you feel the pains of what these people are passing through.
Okay, let's go straight.
We've had lecturers We've had lecturers. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Dr. Sam Ego, former Ebonyi State governor,
was a lecturer.
Good. A top one at that. But then he was a minister.
Okay.
And under his reign, when the lecturers were on strike, he went to Lagos to hold a very big birthday bash.
All right, let's go straight to the phone lines. You can drop your messages on 0906 510 8289. Phone lines 0808 182 6949. 0811 605 2949. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Michael Oni and Co.
You're welcome.
Yes, Obinna from Port Harcourt Road in Aba.
You're welcome.
I want to talk about those that went to the government house to discuss about the Charter of Equity. I want to ask, who has the Charter of Equity and rotation of governorship seats in Abia State? Who has it held? During the 2015, the Ngwa people were agitating for a governor. By the stroke of luck, they had this. Today, who the team help? Who the team help? The governor of Abia State is paying salary, even the salaries of Ngwa people. He is not constructing roads, even in Ngwa section. I think we should stop this mediocrity of our mind. That issue of Charter of Equity is just a probation of mediocrity.
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts, please.
We need people who will serve the people, not people who are from either this side or the other side. I don't like all these discussions that are going on in Abia State. I'm very much ashamed of it. Thank
All right, thank you for your contribution. Good evening to you.
God bless you.
Chief Awolo Wonkwodede.
My own Mike, you are blessed.
You're welcome.
Something, my man, you are blessed.
Chief, you're welcome.
God bless you. Jenica, you are blessed, my man.
Chief, welcome, sir.
God bless you all. You are making us happy. You are telling us what's happening in this country.
All right, quickly, Chief.
Yes. Chief Awolo Wonkwodede, Obo Bora de Kaki, call a spade a spade. Omuwada Muzikana Zobo. Here in Imo State, where I come from. Let me put it to us. As far as I'm concerned, the probe planned by Emeka Inedo Araton, the governor of Imo State, is a welcome development. I welcome that. Imo people are welcoming that. We want to get our properties back. Want to get our money back from bad governors of the past. That is the probe. We want that probe gone. Again, Charter of Equity. We even want that done in Imo State. It should be put to law. Because if you leave it like that, there's a zone in Imo State they call Olu zone. They want to rule like the North, ruling Nigeria. So the zone, if you put to law, will stop people marginalizing minor tribes.
All right, Chief. Thank you very much for keeping to time. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Michael.
You're welcome. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Jenica. Good evening, Samson.
Good evening,
Good
Loma.
evening. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Loman the Prophet. You see, let me tell you, the Fulani herdsmen, especially the northerners, transporting violence into the east gradually.
Suspected Fulani herdsmen. That's
Thank
place. We can't say northerners. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. But I'm telling you, they are transporting violence here because they know the southeastern state is at peace. Then their side is in violence. They want to cause violence here so that when that one is happening in their own side, we will be fighting here. But we say God will not allow it to happen. And I'm telling my fellow Igbo brothers, Southeasterners, please let us be circumspect in all that we are doing so that at the end of the day they will not bring violence here to us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Good evening to you. We lost that 0808-182-6949, 0811-605-2949. Good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Mike and so.
Good evening.
This is Harrison. Hello?
Yes, what's the name, please?
Okay, please on the line.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I want to talk on the zoning issue. You see, zoning is good. Right from our book, right from the national agency. But the most important thing is zoning. That's equity issue. When you now say equity, the people you are giving that equity, most of them are they qualified to handle that if you give them that responsibility. Even from the northern extractions where we have some people looking for government, looking for things for all what's not south. I think I should now return why he was especially somebody who can do something for the nation, who can do something for the state. You give him that responsibility. Look at what President Buhari has done now by recruiting or appointing specialists, giving them ministerial positions so that we watch them and see what they are going to deliver to this country. And not because I'm from Omaha, I'm from Isukwata, I'm from Ongwa. Then you say equity. Equity is political language and it is dangerous and damaging the affairs of this country. So people have not faith. Euros, there is no development, nothing is going on, and you are telling people equity. What is that equity?
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts, please.
So all those founding fathers to go back and rethink that there is nothing like equity. Let them who should do the job.
All right.
And hand over that power to
Let's allow others to contribute. Thank you very much for your contribution this evening. Good evening to you. We lost that. Let's go straight to the SMS and see what we have there. Okay, let's see. Permit me to support the plan to put the Abia Charter of Equity into law to start with there is no zone that cannot have qualified person to be governor. So it is acceptable to stop any zone with majority to become number one. Okay, call a spade that Chief Awola won't quoted. The people are all Imolites. The governor should pay them. There is hunger in the land. It should be okay. The responsibility in good faith. Okay, Anyawu from Obowo, pastor. Okay, this Melu problem in Southeast is getting out of hand. Southeast governors should wake up. Felix from Ozuaba. I want to plead with Governor Ihedioha to consider the plight of those civil servants he sacked and reabsorb them, including payment of arrears of their salaries. Let him temper justice with mercy. Mr. Jonathan from Bender Road in Umuahia. Image Maker says, killing across country and the proposed forest guards. I learned that security is everyone's business, and my question is, why are a few force in business holding back the security vote? Image Maker. Let's take more calls. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Good evening, Gedeka and Samson.
Good evening.
Yeah. Here is Mr. Mado. Edward.
Okay.
Editor and chief Lion Pillar. This evening I call you from Port Harcourt. I do call from Ali Quicknanzo.
Oh, all the way from Port Harcourt. You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah, my own take there is that I want to start from making a deal to probing the past government. Yes, I am in support of that. At least start from Udenwa. For it not to sound as if he's pursuing one person. But at least to start from Udenwa. I know that nobody is perfect. But one thing about this is that anything that somebody wants to do in this world, you should do it with a clear hand. Like what he did now concerning the workers from January. Yes, you see it. We said it. I told some of my friends, please don't involve. And they refused. Because the same thing that happened to 10,000 jobs under Hakim will also happen. Because you see what happened. You know that he's going to leave. Like example now, on the 28th of May, he handed over chief staff of office and to the NDSS. That is what should have been done since. And when he left, it can now begin the House of Assembly of them say that they have dissolved that. So these are wanting to put confusion under his administration. He put confusion all over the corners. But I plead to those guys, let them calm down and see what to do, because look at the DJ during his own time.
Quickly
now when it
wrap
happens,
up,
it's not a shock, but we know that it's what is going to happen. But let them calm down and see what will happen.
Thank you very much.
This thing. Concerning the Fulani
Justin, 10 seconds, please.
Let the Southeast government do something, because that's exactly what happened to Ike Fuemad in Germany.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, let's take some other messages so that we can wrap up things here tonight on the program. Kudos to Iodioha for his recovery move. Chinedu from Umbuse in Imo State. Do not forget, the maiden edition of the program, You're Right, will kick off tomorrow. Don't forget the video of our programs, the rejigged video, the rejigged studio of Flo 94.9 FM. The upgrade is complete. You can have an idea of what has happened in the studios of Flo 94.9 FM. Go to our YouTube page, Flo Fm Tv. Of course, a very beautiful studio we have now.
And you see Michael's face.
Ginika, I won't say anything now, because if I say something, it might be used against me. I'm going to keep quiet. Thank you very much, Ginika, for being part of the program.
Thank you, Mr. Michael.
All right.
Thanks for the wisdom.
He's growing.
Okay, good for you. Samson Eze, thank you very much for being part of the program.
Good night, Michael.
All right, have a wonderful evening. Adigbo Buru is ready to take you straight into your bed. And of course, you wake up with Flo FM as usual. Do have yourself a wonderful evening. My name is Michael Oni.